The D segment SUV space has for long been dominated by one key player, and without even taking its name, you know which one I'm talking about. And with the exit of the Ford Endeavour, there has been a void that the MG Gloucester has tried to fill, and now the Jeep Meridian is also trying to come in and make a big bang here. The Meridian is designed for India, is made in India, and is promising 4 key highlights on which it is based. It is based on looks, features, space, and of course capability. You're watching HT Auto, I'm Shubhadeep, and today we're taking an in-depth closer look at the latest Jeep SUV, the Meridian. Meridian is a sort of a natural extension of the Compass and is looking at replicating its success in a segment above. It has a bolder road presence for sure, but it still is unmistakably a Jeep, thanks to the 7-slat grille. Flanking this grille are the LED headlamps with LED DRLs on either side. The full-width chrome bar bisects the front bumper, and there is a large air dam to embolden the face. Over at the side, Meridian stands tall on 18-inch wheels with smart alloy designs under the large wheel arches. The ground clearance is also reasonably high to underline its off-road capabilities. The rear is where the rugged character makes way for more sophistication thanks to the sleek tail lights. The Meridian may be based on the same platform as the Compass, but obviously it is longer by 364 mm than its younger sibling, which means the promise of space on the inside. This gets us to the second pillar that Meridian is based on. You know what, let's hit the nail on the head. Let's find out what the third row seat of the Meridian has on offer. Now, there is a one-touch tumble and fold functionality, which is great. A very important element here is also that the doors open at an 80-degree angle, so it's nice and wide, and the space that is there for you to get in is really good. You won't really find a problem. The problem though is that these seats they don't have a sliding mechanism. So once you do get in and you pull the seat back, you are, trust me, pretty cramped. Now, while leg space definitely is an issue on the Meridian, it's very limited, and there is no pun intended. Remember, there is that limited option on the Meridian. But while this space is also limited, just check out the posture that I'm sitting in. The bum, the legs are almost similar. That's because the rear end of this vehicle is quite high, perhaps to underline its SUV 4x4 credentials. But for whatever reason, it is far actually from an ideal place to be in. There are cars in lower segments, MPVs, some of them, that offer a much more comfortable experience in the last row. Now, even if you're someone who won't spend too much time in the last row, won't have too many family members here, well, if you are offering a 3-row vehicle, should spare some thought to the third row as well. But that said, there is a whole lot more positive and a whole lot more better things to look forward to in the second row, so let's take a look. The second seats, well, I couldn't really find much to complain about, or anything at all as far as the second seats of the Meridians are concerned. Comfortable, spacious, and well, really it's not just because I'm coming from the final row, but the fact that these seats are really built with special attention. So you get the usual fare, a central armrest with dedicated cup holders. The window size is reasonably large. The quality of upholstery is great. You do get dedicated AC vents here on the back of the center console, the USB point for charging, and a 12-volt charging socket here as well. There's a piano black finish surround on the silver door handles, and you sit quite upright, so you do get even then a decent amount of headroom. This seat is not pulled all the way back, but this is to my driving position, and I have a whole lot of knee room here. Leg space is great. Under thigh support is exceptionally well done, so on long journeys you should be very comfortable. There is of course a minor hump on the floor bed, but it's not too much to complain about. 3 sitting side by side should not be too much of a problem even on long journeys. I really think that 3 people on these seats are going to be mighty comfortable. In fact, you know what, I'll stick my neck out and say that if there's a person here and you would give him or her the option of, stretching out at the back, he or she won't take it. But enough with the last row. I was talking about the second. So this definitely is a good place to be at. But the control center, the nerve center of the Meridian, of course, like in any other car, are the front seats. So let's take a look. The Meridian does make some solid promises as far as features are concerned, and that is one of its key selling points, key elements that we mentioned earlier as well. Now, highlighting this point is this really nice, gorgeous, large 10.1-inch display. It is sharp, it's very easy to use, very responsive to touch, and while it does attract a little bit of fingerprint and there is a slight glare, it's not a deal breaker and doesn't take away its premium appeal that the front row passenger and the driver can look forward to. There is nice leather quality all around the dash. It has a stretched out appeal to the driver and the front passenger. The quality of leather on the seats, the upholstery is also really top notch. Now, while there is soft plastic used on the dash, and that's great, and there is some soft plastic used on the side doors as well, there is also some additional hard plastics right here and on the lower portion of the doors as well. So that does take away sort of a little bit away from the premiumness of this vehicle. But there is hardly anything else to complain about. The center console is very well appointed. You do get, because I mentioned about the features, you do get wireless phone charging. There is a Type-C charging point and a conventional USB charging point right here on the center console. You get all the buttons for your 4x4 here. There are mode selectors here. There is a panoramic sunroof above me, which is great as well. And the stretched out rectangular shaped driver display is all digital and you can customize it, which is great as well. Now, some of the other highlights that deserve a mention are that the front 2 seats are ventilated, so there is the cooling functionality. There is a high-end music system. The sound system on this car is extremely good. We've tested it and that's great. There are storage pockets all around. There is some storage space here under the armrest, and there are cup holders here. There is a dedicated place where I can place the key so I don't lose them if I'm taking it on roads that are less than ideal. And overall, the sense of height that I get when I'm sitting, especially on the driver's seat, is great. So on the feature list, on the premiumness of the front seats and the cabin in general of the Meridian, it's a job well done. Looks, space, features, these can add to your arsenal, but it is the drive capability itself that will determine the course of the battle. Unlike some of its rivals, Meridian is being offered with a diesel engine option only. And while that instantly rules out those keen on a petrol motor, this is a trusty unit nonetheless. Our test unit had this engine mated to a 9-speed AT, and frankly, its true potential is in how the SUV performs. The Meridian has a calm demeanor about it and rambles on city roads with confidence, but that was anyway on the expected lines. What wasn't though was how instantaneous the response to aggressive throttle inputs are. The gear shifts are precise, and irrespective of the rev band from which the takeoff is planned, this Jeep gets a move on with perfect excitement. Even in terms of refinement, the Meridian has a leg up with a smooth drivetrain and far less body roll than what one would expect from a vehicle of its proportions. And when it's time to tackle less than perfect roads, the independent suspensions are quite magical to soak it all up. The only weakness in the drive characteristic of the Meridian is that it may not be the most eager in its segment, in comparative terms of course, to enter corners with momentum behind it. But barring this slight resistance, this could well be the most refined vehicle in its class. But for all the features, the luxury and the comfort, the Meridian at the end of the day is a Jeep. And Jeep is a brand that's known for its adventurous and off-road capabilities. Meridian is staying true to its genes. I'll stop talking now as we let the Meridian on an off-road track do the talking for me. You judge the car's capability for yourself. Bookings for the Jeep Meridian start from May 3rd onwards. So if you watch this video on May 3rd or after and you like this car, then you can actually now book the vehicle. Deliveries, Jeep says, start from the 3rd week of June. While it is unlikely that the Meridian will dent the cult status of the Fortuner, it is very, very likely that this SUV behind me will benefit from the robust and solid reputation that the Jeep brand has here in India. What do you make of this vehicle? Do let us know. But for now, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for watching.